Now, on Emeritus News Brief, I'm Lynn Houston. President Obama signs the much-needed extended unemployment benefits bill, and House Democrats prepare for a vote on health insurance reform. After 4 weeks of delays, the House Thursday approved changes made in the Senate, and Friday morning, President Obama signed the extended unemployment benefits bill into law. It provides 14 more weeks of compensation for all 50 states, an additional 6 weeks of compensation for states whose unemployment rates are above 8.5%.
The extension will help over 1 million Americans. It won't just put money into the people's pockets who are receiving the benefits. Economists tell us that when these benefits are spent on food or clothing or rent, it actually strengthens our economy and creates new jobs. Now, this bill will also cut taxes for struggling businesses, with even larger cuts for small businesses, which means that thousands of entrepreneurs will get the cash they need to avoid laying off workers or closing their doors. And it will extend the tax credit for all home buyers through April of next year, while strengthening it with stronger anti-fraud measures. The rebound in the housing market was one of the big factors that contributed to the growth of the economy last quarter and brought hundreds of thousands of families into the housing market. We want to give even more families the chance to own their own home. Now, it's important to note that the bill I signed will not add to our deficit. It is fully paid for, and so it is fiscally responsible. It builds on a Recovery Act that's already saved or created over 1 million jobs, and it will lead to even more in the weeks and months ahead.
Just as the president was signing the extended unemployment benefits law, the Labor Department was releasing statistics showing the jobless rate for the U.S. went up 0.4% to 10.2%. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says in October, the number of unemployed persons increased 558,000 to a total of 15.7 million. And the unemployment rate is now the highest it's been since April of 1983. The Labor Department also reports the American workforce is more productive with little to show for it. Third quarter American workers' productivity was up by the largest quarterly increase in 6 years. The Labor Department's Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that non-farm business sector labor productivity increased at a 9.5% annual rate during the third quarter. In addition, unit labor costs in non-farm businesses fell 5.2% in the third quarter, and the increase of productivity therefore outpaced the increase in hourly compensation. Unit labor costs declined 3.6% over the last 4 quarters. That's the largest decrease since that survey began in 1948. Democrat leaders in the House trying to get a weekend vote on the health insurance reform bill, labeled H.R. 3962. The House Rules Committee met late Friday night to consider amendments. Democratic leaders admit they may have to take the vote early next week. The American Civil Liberties Union files a lawsuit against the Palm Beach County schools, saying the lagging graduation rates, especially among minority and disadvantaged students, is in violation of the state's constitution. The ACLU claims that 1/3 to 1/2 of the students at some high schools don't graduate on time, and the rate is worse among minorities and disadvantaged students. More on that story on the Emeritus News Education page. A report to the military from retired generals and other officers says about 75% of American youths ages 17 to 24 are ineligible for military service. Reasons range from obesity to education disqualifications, which the officers say is due to poor high school graduation rates. Health-related issues alone make up 35% of disqualifications, largely due to obesity. The actual report on the Emeritus News National World page. The latest on the biggest issues and public policy at emeritusnews.com. And live 24 hours, 7 days a week on the Emeritus News channel at livestream.com. That's an Emeritus News Brief. I'm Lynn Houston.